What is up guys, Deadset here. In this video I'll go over a spec for Season 6 Witch Doctors using the set you receive for free at the start. Aside from the early game Torment spec, I'll go over a progression variant that can take you decently high into the Greater Rifts. Let's go. Every new season offers you a one-time opportunity to quickly get a character to decent farming potential through a system called Haedrig's Gifts. The gifts are obtained by completing stages of the season journey, with 3 different achievements, each granting 2 pieces of a predetermined class-specific set. You can view the stages of the season journey at any time by clicking the yellow chapter button in the top right corner of the screen, to the right of the difficulty marker. In this example we're using a Crusader, but this is applicable to every class. Each Haedrig's gift appears as in-game mail, accessible via the mail button in the lower left corner of the screen, next to the chat button. Claiming the gift puts it in your inventory, where you can open it similarly to a bounty cache. The first of Haedrig's gifts is rewarded upon reaching level 70. The second of Haedrig's gifts is rewarded upon killing Izual, the mini-boss in the Great Span, the area connected to the Silver Spire level 1, on Torment 2 or higher. Note the difference to Season 5, where the required boss was Zoltan Kuhl. The third and final of Haedrig's gifts is rewarded upon soloing Greater Rift level 20. If you prefer to gauge your capability to complete it in time, it's roughly equivalent to a Torment 4 Rift. After you open the 3 gifts, you'll have all the necessary pieces to attain the full set bonus. The first demonstration is of the Torment progression variant. As usual, to guarantee the quality of the build, the Torment 10 demonstration has been done with 3 set paragons, no augmentations on gear, and legendary gems upgraded to the bare minimum of level 25. The build focuses on the interaction between the Carnival Helm, allowing for your 5 closest fetish summons to shoot powerful 250% multiplier poison darts alongside you, and the projectile piercing property of the Dagger of Darts. You begin runs by summoning your fetish army, and over the course of the run, their numbers will swell through the fetish sycophant's passive. Nevertheless, keep an eye on your fetish counter and resummon accordingly. The majority of your time will be spent alternating between your primary damage dealer, Poison Dart, and a strong utility spender in the face of Grasp of the Dead or Acid Cloud in Torments. Although this is a mid to high range spec, you have to close the distance to the enemy occasionally to gain the benefits of the powerful Soul Harvest buff. To position for harvesting, escape deadly affixes, or simply get to safety, the build adopts the staple Spirit Walk. Finally, to complement the walk-in army playstyle of the build, we use the AoE buff Big Bad Voodoo, whose massive radius greatly benefits your menagerie. Your main damage dealer is found in Poison Dart, a primary skill supported by 2 powerful legendary items, Carnival and the Dagger of Darts, and a dedicated legendary gem, Simplicity's Strength. With its potential already considerable with those items in mind, it gains the additional multiplicative damage increase of Depth Diggers, which is a change as of patch 2.41, through the mana-generating Spined Dart rune. Due to the nature of the Zunimassa 6-piece bonus, the use of a spender is mandated in the build. While in Torments you can benefit from the immediate nature and increased area of effect of Acid Cloud Acid Rain, it is recommended that you swap to Grasp of the Dead when Greater Rifting. With a negligible cooldown through the Desperate Grasp rune, this skill proves to be a cheap and consistent spender to procure necessary damage bonuses, including the damage of Bane of the Trapped and the defense of Bad Medicine. The foundation of your mobile unit, Fetish Army, is the centerpiece of the build, turned indefinite through the Zunimassa set and modified to poisonous turrets through the Carnival Mask. Since the Fetish Darts do poison damage regardless of the selected rune, and your damage reduction is based on the Fetish count, Legion of Daggers is regarded as the best rune for the slot. A mobility and all-around safety mainstay in the Witch Doctor arsenal, Spirit Walk finds its place in yet another build. Its moderate cooldown is compensated by its versatility. It renders you invulnerable, removes enemy collision, and increases your movement speed by 50%, all for the generous 3-second duration of Jaunt. In Torments, where prolonged safety is trumped by faster movement, you can swap to the speedier Severance rune. One of the strongest utility cooldowns of Witch Doctors, Soul Harvest is a great addition to the build. It acts as a damage buff by default, increasing your intelligence by up to 15% for the modest requirement of 5 harvested enemies. With the Languish rune and the worn Lacumbus ornament bracers, it attains additional crowd control and toughness buff properties, solidifying its place in this mid-range playstyle. The naturally overlapping duration simply sweetens the deal. As a final note, you can consider swapping to the movement speed oriented Soul to Waste rune in Torments. Rounding out the skill choices, Big Bad Voodoo takes a firm spot in the rotation once you pick a place to fight. Undoubtedly the most impactful DPS buff at the disposal of Witch Doctors, and with a humongous cooldown to boot, this skill and the Slam Dance rune are worth taking for the numbers alone. When coupled with the resetting effect of the Star Metal Kukri, either in hand or in Kanai's cube, Big Bad Voodoo is unquestionable. This concludes the overview of the active skills. Now let us look through the passives. Fetish Sycophants is a signature passive of the build, spawning additional fetishes as you naturally go through your rotations. Capping at an impressive 15, this ability solidifies the meat shield in front of you and significantly increases the damage reduction benefits of the Zunimassa 4-piece bonus. A fitting defensive choice for poison-oriented builds, Bad Medicine reduces the damage of monsters damaged by attacks of the element. Effectively up at all times in this poison-dominant build, the debuff coming from this passive spreads effectively with the piercing fetish poison darts and the AoE of Grasp of the Dead. Due to the limited challenges of normal rifts, the best defense often turns out to be a good offense. I recommend swapping this slot into Grave Injustice, turning the fast kill speed in Torments into cooldown reduction for near-permanent Spirit Walk. A well-rounded DPS increase for greater rifting, Pierce the Veil provides a guaranteed 20% additive damage bonus with a downside of 30% increase in mana costs. The drawback is hardly noticeable in the build, as it's mostly a primary and cooldown skill-centric, and the chosen spenders are cheap and effective. Alternatives to the passive are Jungle Fortitude or Swampland Attunement if you feel like you're lacking toughness, or the movement speed increase of Fierce Loyalty in normal rifts, avoiding overkill of damage and toughness. You have a decision-making point for your final passive slot. Able to work from a safe range, Zunimassa Witch Doctors can get away with using a 4th offensive passive in the form of Gruesome Feast, and it's definitely recommended to do so at least in Torments. One of the strongest Witch Doctor passives due to its true multiplier, Gruesome Feast grants you a 10% increase of mana and intelligence when you're healed by a health globe, stacking up to 5 times. If you prefer having a cheat death at your disposal, Spirit Vessel is the Witch Doctor's go-to passive. Besides allowing you to dodge a death screen, it heals a significant portion of your life and puts you in a Spirit Walk-like state, letting you quickly reposition. The build takes advantage of the full Zunimassa set bonuses, taking 5 of the 7 available pieces and cubing a Ring of Royal Grandeur to reduce the number of items for set bonus completion by 1. This opens up the helm and leg slots for the unique bonuses of Carnival and the damage multiplication of the Depth Digger's Pants. Rolls-wise, this pet playstyle makes good use of skill bonuses across gear. Sought after on the chest and shoulders, Fetish Army percentage bonus accompanies toughness stats on the Zunimassa chest and area damage on your shoulder of choice. Fetish Army percentage is also a guaranteed roll on the Zunimassa offhand, where it's best accompanied by area damage. Poison Dart percentage can be rolled on belt and pants, and being a direct boost to your primary damage dealer, it is considered an optimal stat on both items. The ideal Zunimassa ring will include both crit stats, attack speed, and an open socket. While this guide will not delve into specifics of breakpoint chasing, attack speed is a very important stat for Poison Dart damage, and you can aim for the 29 frame breakpoint by reaching over 2 attacks per second in your sheet, easily achieved with maximized 7% increased attack speed rolls on your weapon, gloves, belt, and 2 rings. The ability to store the powers of Ring of Royal Grandeur in Kanai's cube opens a powerful offensive combo in the jewelry, the Endless Walk set, Compass Rose Ring, and Traveler's Pledge Amulet. This 2.4 rework adds a unique mechanic that slowly increases your damage by up to 100% if you remain stationary, and drains it away and increases your damage reduction while moving. This dynamic fits the Zunimassa playstyle, as you alternate stationary poison dart shooting with leading your troops to the next big fight. As mentioned above, attack speed, crit chance, crit damage and an open socket is desired on the Compass Rose, while 2 crit stats, poison elemental damage and an open socket are best for Traveler's Pledge. During Torment farm, it is recommended to swap away from the Endless Walk set, as it promotes a static fighting style that is unfit for normal rifts. Use the more offensive combo of Avarice Band and a Hellfire Amulet. Avarice Band's pickup radius bonus is incredibly synergistic with the Witch Doctor, as it benefits not only your movement speed through a socketed Boon of the Hoarder, but also your staple speed farm passives like Grave Injustice and Gruesome Feast. While any well-rolled amulet can fulfill the role for Torments, a crafted Hellfire Amulet with a solid 5th passive like Gruesome Feast, Grave Injustice, Pierce the Veil, or Swampland Attunement, etc. is easily the best in slot. With the 2.4 reworks to its mechanics, Depth Diggers now includes Wizard and Witch Doctor resource generating attacks, opening up more viable builds. The Carnival Doctor is one of them, taking advantage of the up to 100% damage increase, multiplicative as of 2.41, to his primary attack, the mana-generating Spined Dart. The desired stats are Intelligence, Vitality, Double Sockets and Poison Dart percentage. The most desirable belt for a Carnival Witch Doctor is the Glass Cannon Champion, the Witching Hour. Naturally sporting the unusual combination of attack speed and crit damage, the best in slot rolls would also include a Poison Dart percentage roll. Another viable but noticeably weaker option for greater rifts is the Belt of Transcendence, allowing you to free up the Fetish Sycophant's passive for another of your choosing. When farming normal rifts, you can also wear a Gold Wrap. Synergizing with Boon of the Hoarder and Avarice Band, Gold Wrap will render you practically invulnerable and allow you to focus on killing and looting without regards to your safety. Introduced in patch 2.4 to specifically assist Jade Harvester set builds, Lacumba's Ornament is nevertheless a great inclusion to a build that runs Soul Harvest to assist its toughness issues. At the full 5 stacks of a non-sacred Harvester setup, Lacumba's Ornament will reduce incoming damage by the respectable 26%. Aim for poison damage, intelligence, vitality, and crit chance. There is no specific shoulder that you need to run, so any legendary with good stats will do. That being said, several legendary shoulders still have decent bonuses to be considered. The craftable Corruption shoulders will extend your pickup radius and synergize with Grave Injustice and Swampland Attunement, and Pauldrons of the Skeleton King will give you another cheat death, even though it's at a low proc chance. Optimal stats are Intelligence, Vitality, Fetish Army percentage, and area damage. While it is the namesake of the build, Carnival Voodoo Mask is only sought after because of its unique property that enables the 5 closest fetish summons to shoot poison darts along with you. The mask sports the standard 4 primary stats and is interchangeable with the Mask of Joram, so pick your better rolled item and store the powers of the other in Kanai's cube. Still, a good Carnival is much easier to obtain as it has no range to roll on the unique property, unlike Mask of Joram, which can roll anywhere between 75 to 100% bonus damage for the pets, so Carnival comes as the default recommendation. A similar situation is found for the weapon slot, where the Dagger of Darts produces the signature piercing effect. While that bonus is certainly mandatory, the dagger is interchangeable with the Star Metal Kukri, and you can cube your weaker weapon. Since the SMK is a much rarer drop and rolls guaranteed crit damage, which is not necessarily bad, but it's harder to optimize breakpoints around, the Dagger of Darts is the standard suggestion. Notice that attack speed is a priority on the weapon, ideally accompanied by high intelligence and percentage damage rolls. Your 3 jewelry sockets will be taken up by the legendary gems Simplicity Strength, Enforcer and Bane of the Trapped. Simplicity's Strength is one of the best DPS gems you can take for the build, as it was changed into a separate damage multiplication source to primary skills in patch 2.41, affecting both yours and your fetish attacks and upgrading with a steady pace of 0.5% per gem level. It quickly becomes a priority and fixture in your gem choices. Its buffed healing secondary effect is just icing on the cake. Enforcer is a pet-oriented gem that both increases fetish damage and lessens the damage that summons take. Note that the damage bonuses of the gem have been changed from additive to multiplicative in patch 2.41, reinforcing it as a pet build staple. Finally, Bane of the Trapped is a potent source of additional damage, as it is its own multiplier in your total damage calculation. The gem procs itself with its level 25 property in close range, and is otherwise triggered by your constant grasp of the dead spam, making it a natural fit for greater rifting. Once you're confident with your damage in torments, you can substitute the gem with Boon of the Hoarder to increase your movement speed and provide near infinite toughness through its interaction with Avarice Band and Gold Wrap respectively. The Kanai's cube recommendations are as follows: Star Metal Kukri for the weapon slot, Mask of Jaram for the armor slot, and Ring of Royal Grandeur for the jewelry slot. Touted as the strongest Witch Doctor weapon, the Star Metal Kukri easily offsets its lack of elite bonuses or damage procs by effectively nullifying your two longest and most important cooldowns, Fetish Army and Big Bad Voodoo. As noted above, the cube weapon slot is interchangeable with a Dagger of Darts, depending on your weaker rolled item. The second most desirable helm for this pet-centric build, Mask of Jaram, only steps down to Carnival due to the set and weapon synergy. Similarly to the weapon slot, the armor slot is interchangeable between the two, with Mask of Jaram being the usual cube occupant due to its variable unique bonus. The final item that binds the puzzle of sets and masks together is the Ring of Royal Grandeur, the ability to run with full set bonuses, a complementary helm and strong offensive jewelry. Dodging the undesirable guaranteed stats on the Grandeur by cubing its power is a tremendous boost to the build. In the Paragon points, max out movement speed to the 25% cap and spend the rest on intelligence in the core section. Prioritize crit damage, crit chance and then attack speed in offense. Armor, followed by life percentage and then all resist in defense. And finally, focus on area damage and life per hit in utility. And this is it for the in-depth look at the Zunimassa Witch Doctor progression in patch 2.41. You can find the full written version linked in the description below, as well as a Google spreadsheet linking to my detailed guides for basically every build in Diablo 3, of course in the process of revision to patch 2.41. I hope you enjoyed the guide, and if you did, I would appreciate your subscription to my channel. Talk to me on Twitter and Facebook that I linked below, and I'll see you guys next time.